Hello, welcome to my vlogs where I try to make art for the week, whether it's comics, illustration, crochet, or learning a new hobby. Let's get right into this week. Friday, March 13th. Just my usual for the day. Take my stepbro to work and then head over to my sister's place to babysit. When I came home, I think the first thing I did was edit my vlog for the week. I managed to finish recording and editing and even played a few copycat matches in between while downloading some of my VODs to put into the video. Later at night, my girlfriend and I got on call for White Day this weekend. We set up a drawing board so we could draw together, and even though I wish I could show what I drew, I can't since I mostly drew not safe for work content. It was nice to draw it since I hadn't done so in a while. I stayed up until 4 in the morning before brushing my teeth and going to sleep. Saturday, March 14th. I woke up at 3:30 p.m. this day. When I finished using the bathroom, I drew a tiny bit on the drawing board before trying out Draw Me on Roblox. I had come across quite a few people playing this game on TikTok a while back and decided it'd be nice to try it since my girlfriend went out for the day. When she came back, I returned to drawing on the magma board we had set up. I know I spent most of this day drawing on the board and eating a bit. Unfortunately, I felt super sleepy around 10 p.m., which was earlier than I would have liked, but if I was sleepy, I should listen to my body, so I knocked out the whole night. Sunday, March 15th. I woke up rather early today, at 8:30 in the morning, but thinking about it, I slept practically my whole Saturday. If anything, I most likely needed it, to be honest. This day, I logged into Ragnarok Online and played it the whole day along with my girlfriend. And yes, before you ask, I barely did any art this day. I wrote a tiny bit of Your Hand in Mine, but that was it. Monday, March 16th. Once again, my usual for the weekday. When I came home, it was around 5 p.m. From there, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I think I was in a writing mood, so I decided to write for the day. I spent the night writing up chapters for Your Hand in Mine. For those who don't know, Your Hand in Mine is a sequel to an old story I wrote for an OCX canon character way back in 2017. It was pairing the characters Yuri Plisetsky from Yuri on Ice and my original character Winston Bastion. The original story was called Half-Life, in which it followed Winston and his desire to become a known figure skater so that he could confess his feelings to Yuri. There's much more to it, such as fairies, magic, having an identity crisis, and major character death. But the story was slow and long, and in the end, the reward for finishing the story was devastating. I never finished it, but it's my kind of story. I did come up with a sequel for it, which is the current story Your Hand in Mine, but I never fully planned it out and left it on the back burner for years. During the Webtoon Legends contest in 2025, I thought about the story and revamped it with original characters to submit into the contest. Of course, by now the story wasn't picked up at all. However, I had already decided that if it didn't win, I'd still continue this story as it's one that I find interesting. But I definitely changed a lot of what was originally there. If you want to know what Your Hand in Mine is about, it's about a former figure skater and now aspiring actor named Ivory Vale making a wish to hold hands with someone who loves him. In that instance, a pair of hands greet him to make his wish come true. So will these hands help Ivory finally meet the love of his life, or will they only uncover the grim truth of its existence? If you're interested, I link my comics in the description box below. But yeah, I wrote up to 22 chapters that day. I think prior I was on chapter 18, but that was it for the day. Tuesday, March 17th. Just my usual. When I came home, the first thing I did was eat, but I don't quite remember what I did before streaming. Thinking about it now, I think I played a few rounds of Draw Me on Roblox before getting on Twitch to stream for about 2 hours. On Twitch, I sketched out backgrounds for chapter 4 of Your Hand in Mine. I forgot to mention, but when the contest was ongoing, I had actually had half of chapters 4 and 5 done before the contest ended. I was waiting for results before continuing because during that time frame, it was said that if you were contacted, you would be progressing in the next stages of the contest. So by then, I was just prepping to be safe. Of course, as I said, I didn't progress, but I was definitely ready just in case. Also, if you're wondering about how I feel about the contest, to be honest, I didn't expect to win at all. The biggest reason I entered was because I remembered asking myself if I would regret not participating, and my answer was yes, because who knows? What if there was a chance? I'd regret it immensely for not even trying. I also don't mean to toot my own horn, but I actually finished all 3 of my chapters 3 days before the contest opened. Because I had 2 years of drawing Unconditional Fate, I had a really good idea of my time frame and work ethic for this contest's entry. Even though there was no winning, I feel pride in the fact that not many people would have been as prepared as I was. I didn't rush, I didn't panic, I wasn't scrambling to submit my entry by the deadline. Not many newbies would say the same. I was happy to know that even though nothing came from it in terms of winning, I was able to come up with a story I liked with new characters I could enjoy. And of course, congratulations to the winners. I know that winning entries sometimes come with controversy, but I think we should be positive and let the winners have their glory. I heard some people think the contest was rigged or unfair, and I've seen quite a few people get upset about not being picked, but I think we should all celebrate our small victories. At least you finally finished your 3 chapters, right? And in that time frame, like wow, if you could do that, imagine what you could have now. And besides, I've heard my fair share of the big green comic platform having crazy contracts anyways, so I like to think maybe there's something greater out there waiting for me. I would hope the same for you. Anyway, I decided to multitask both of my comics since I like the story of both of them and would hope that if someone enjoyed one of my series, they might like the other. Either way, I'm happy to just be drawing comics. I'm very fortunate to be able to draw. That's why I wanted to work on Your Hand in Mine's backgrounds, since chapters 4 and 5 have been waiting for backgrounds and speech bubbles. I ended the stream short since I had to sleep and wake up early the next day. Wednesday, March 18th. Just my usual. When I got home, I remember the first thing I did was eat and then start streaming. Once again, I just decided to work on backgrounds for chapter 4 of Your Hand in Mine. I finished up drawing all of the lines for the backgrounds and finally got to start coloring. Generally, I like to do things in bulk when making my comics. So what I mean by that is when I first started doing the first 3 chapters, what I did was sketch all 3 chapters out. Then I lined all 3 chapters, and then I colored all the characters in for all 3 chapters. This round, I was supposed to line the background for both chapters 4 and 5. However, I haven't been working on comics for a while, so I won't lie, I kind of forgot the process, but I just remembered now while writing the script. Even so, I still did my best to do it in bulk because I do remember lining all of the backgrounds in all the pages before beginning to color. It's just my preference, and with someone who has ADHD, it makes me feel like I'm doing more and helps me see new things every hour I draw instead of seeing the same page for the next 2 days. It's just what works for me. Anyway, I was happy to start coloring in the backgrounds. I had ended the stream around 11:30 p.m, but I think I stayed up an extra 2 hours just cleaning my room and the like. I had originally planned to keep coloring, but I just went nah. Thursday, March 19th. Once again, my usual. When I returned, I ate a nice salad and began typing up the script. I keep forgetting to type up my day at the end of the day, but sometimes maybe it's better that way. Some days can be overwhelming to the point where it's hard to keep up, honestly. Regardless, after reaching up to Thursday for this vlog, I began streaming. I worked on the backgrounds again for chapter 4 of Your Hand in Mine. I got up to page 6, but there's 15 pages. And mind you, these are long strips with an average of 8 panels on each one. On some pages there's less, and some pages there's more. It really depends. I unfortunately got hungry in the middle of the stream, but then again, I barely ate at my sister's place when I was babysitting. I think I had like 3 chicken nuggets and at most like 10 crinkle fries. I just know I didn't eat very much, so a bowl of salad wasn't really cutting it. I made bulldog noodles with mozzarella and bacon bits. I think this threw me out of that crazy deficit I had. But while I was eating, we watched a review of the game Endroll on stream. By the way, if you enjoyed the game Omori, I'll always say this, but Endroll walked so Omori could run. It's such a good game, and watching the analysis and review was such a nice refresher on this really good game. After eating, I went back to working on the backgrounds. I kept the stream running until 1 in the morning. Once it ended, I went to brush my teeth and shower before knocking out for the night. To be honest, it was nice to work on my comics again. I felt like I wasn't really progressing anywhere, but working on my comics made me feel better. I still feel as though my life purpose is to make comics, and it feels wonderful every time I can work on one. I'll admit, I don't have as much time as I did last year, and it still makes me a bit sad, but it's okay. I'm fortunate and grateful I get to draw, especially after recovering from my hand injury. Even though it was a bit of a rough start this year, I'm happy I was able to work on the projects I love, even if it was just for a little bit so far. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye! You used to call me on my